must be the change you wish to see in the world. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Strength does not come from physical capacity, it comes from an indomitable will. Power is of two kinds. One is obtained by the fear of punishment and the other by acts of love. Power based on love is 1,000 times more effective and permanent than the one derived from fear of punishment. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops of the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. There is a higher court than the courts of justice, and that is the court of conscience. It supersedes all other courts. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. I am prepared to die, but there is no cause for which I am prepared to kill. You can chain me, you can torture me, you can even destroy this body, but you will never imprison my mind. Non-violence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man. Prayer is not asking, it is a longing of the soul. It is daily admission of one's weaknesses. It is better in prayer to have a heart without words than words without a heart. When I admire the wonders of a sunset or the beauty of the moon, my soul expands in the worship of the Creator. If a man reaches the heart of his own religion, he has reached the heart of the others too. There is only one God, and there are many paths to him. If patience is worth anything, it must endure to the end of time, and a living faith will last in the midst of the blackest storm. A no uttered from the deepest conviction is better than a yes merely uttered to please, or worse, to avoid trouble. A small body of determined spirits, fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission, can alter the course of history. All compromise is based on give and take, but there can be no give and take on fundamentals. Any compromise on mere fundamentals is a surrender, for it is all give and no take. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. If we are to teach real peace in this world, and if we are to carry on a real war against war, we shall have to begin with the children. Anger and intolerance are the enemies of correct understanding. What difference does it make to the dead, the orphans and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or the holy name of liberty and democracy? It has always been a mystery to me how men can feel themselves honoured by the humiliation of their fellow beings. Faith is not something to grasp, it is a state to grow into. Those who know how to think need no teachers. I have nothing new to teach the world. Truth and non-violence are as old as the hills. All I have done is to try experiments in both on as vast a scale as I could. The moment there is a suspicion about a person's motives, everything he does becomes tainted. We may never be strong enough to be entirely non-violent in thought, word and deed, but we must keep non-violence as our goal and make strong progress towards it. Before the throne of the Almighty, man will be judged not by his acts, but by his intentions, for God alone reads our hearts. Service, which is rendered without joy, helps neither the servant nor the served. But all other pleasures and possessions pale into nothingness before service which is rendered in a spirit of joy. There is nothing that wastes the body like worry, and one who has any faith in God should be ashamed to worry about anything whatsoever. The difference between what we do and what we are capable of doing would suffice to solve most of the world's problems. When restraint and courtesy are added to strength, the latter becomes irresistible. Anger is the enemy of non-violence, and pride is a monster that swallows it up. Gentleness, self-sacrifice, and generosity are the exclusive possession of no one race or religion. Man becomes great exactly in the degree in which he works for the welfare of his fellow men. Man's nature is not essentially evil. Brute nature has been known to yield to the influence of love. You must never despair of human nature. My religion is based on truth and non-violence. Truth is my God. Non-violence is the means of realizing him. The human voice can never reach the distance that is covered by the still, small voice of conscience. Truth is by nature self-evident. As soon as you remove the cobwebs of ignorance that surround it, it shines clear. Prayer is not an old woman's idle amusement. Properly understood and applied, it is the most potent instrument of action. There are people in the world so hungry that God cannot appear to them except in the form of bread. It is easy enough to be friendly to one's friends, but to befriend the one who regards himself as your enemy is the quintessence of true religion. The other is mere business. Each one has to find his peace from within, and peace to be real must be unaffected by outside circumstances. I look only to the good qualities of men. Not being faultless myself, I won't presume to probe into the faults of others. We win justice quickest by rendering justice to the other party. Man is supposed to be the maker of his destiny. It is only partly true. He can make his destiny only insofar as he is allowed by the great power. A weak man is just by accident. A strong but non-violent man is unjust by accident. Man can never be a woman's equal in the spirit of selfless service with which nature has endowed her. Providence has its appointed hour for everything. We cannot command results, we can only strive. I claim to be a simple individual, liable to err like any other fellow mortal. I own, however, that I have humility enough to confess my errors and to retrace my steps. I know to banish anger altogether from one's breast is a difficult task. It cannot be achieved through pure personal effort. It can be done only by God's grace. Just as a man would not cherish living in a body other than his own, so do nations not like to live under other nations, however noble and great the latter may be. Let everyone try and find that as a result of daily prayer, he adds something new to his life, something with which nothing can be compared.